hold it real quick here.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
You guys did a lot of work. Thank you very much. You can. So Aaron Hilo. All right. Can we give you the message then? Anyway, huh?
Petition.
All right.
Do I gotta write it down?
No. I'm going to give you two flyers. This is one we've circulated on the protest, huh?
Okay.
And here's just another fact sheet on the DU issue. But basically, the point, when I talked to Aaron a month or two ago about the uranium showing up in some people's urine, he said, I'm going to see Gary Gill next month. Next month, I'll talk to him about it. Just when I heard those words, next month, I felt insulted by it. And uranium is showing up in people's urine. And he was going to talk to Gary next month about it. You know, people, the health department's been dragging it so coldly now for years here. In 2008, the county council passed a resolution 8-1 that called for a halt to all the live fire at Pohakuloa, 7 other action points. Because the area is contaminated with DU and they're bombing it. And the health department should be joining in that call to halt the bombing, right? That's the first thing. And there should be comprehensive testing and monitoring taking place up there. And the health department should be testing more people for uranium in the urine. Workers at Pohakuloa, people that travel the Saddle Road regularly. A lot of us have protested up there on numerous occasions. We should be tested too. So these are just some of the points. Now another point I want to give you is the health department should be asking the military this question. Besides the old Davy Crockett round, which they acknowledge, here's a list of 16 other DU weapons. Have they been used up there? And this is not an exhaustive list by any means, but it'd be better it comes from the health department. The health department should be the advocate, not Terry Hill's latest email said they were going to watch closely what the NRC does. That's not good enough. The health department should be on this meeting with the NRC on the 12th, a week from today, right? It's a week from today, by phone. And they should be calling for the NRC to stop all the bombing up there. They should be calling for the NRC to check the people's urine and everything. The health department's got to become an advocate, not a person standing on the sidelines. That's my concern. That's why we're down here protesting, that the health department hasn't been doing its job.
It shows up in people's urine. What are you folks going to do about it? You're supposed to be protecting our health.
So maybe other people, have concerns they can share. But I think it's serious. 3 MDs and a naturopath who out there here in Hilo have patients with uranium in the urine. Now, what's the cause of it? It could be Pohakuloa, it could be something else too. One of the MDs said he has a cluster of patients. So something's got to be done on this. And it was the peace groups. I'm a farmer, and we detected radiation with our own monitors up at Mauna Kea State Park, which I call Uranium Park now. Because we were there on May 29th of 2007. And we had several monitors, and we picked up with winds strong coming off the base with dust devils in the air. We picked up several readings with 4 to 5 times the background level, 5 to 20 counts per minute. We picked up to 100 counts per minute there. And we knew something was coming off the base. It was 3 months after that the Army officially acknowledged they had used DU rounds about 1.5 miles from Mauna Kea Park. But the health department could be testing that worker who lives at Mauna Kea Park.
Oh, the state, DLNR worker.
Yeah, test him for uranium in his urine. There's a lot of civilians that work at Pohakuloa, endangered species and other things, cultural monitors. Offer them free tests. Let's see what's going on. But that's why we're here to say, hey, we got to turn the heat up on the health department.
Okay, I'll pass this on to Aaron.
And to Gary
and Jeff Ecker from the radiation branch.
Yeah, and Barbara Brooks, who's the epidemiologist who's supposed to be checking it out, but I don't have much confidence in her either, to tell you the truth. So I've known Gary Gill since he was in high school.
Yeah,
I used to talk to his class at Roosevelt. In fact, he formed this young group of students for peace. So I have big hopes Gary getting in the health department here. So, I mean, I expect better from him. So not just to be observing what the NRC is doing. He should be an advocate for us. He's the head man, deputy director, right?
Deputy director
so
of environmental.
Tell him he should be the one advocating for it, not just standing on the sidelines.
Okay.
But it would also help if you folks down here in the trenches also, agitated upwards and said, look, we're gonna be taking some heat, because we're gonna try and turn up the heat here. You know, I don't know how your souls are feeling, but hopefully it's getting hot.
The other issue, the health department ought to be going to the AG's office. Disposing of radiation violates the Constitution here. Here's quoting the Constitution of the state of Hawaii. In 1978, they can't dispose of radioactive material without a 2/3 vote of both houses of the legislature. Now, the military says they used several hundred rounds at a minimum of the Davy Crockett, possibly over 2,000 spotting rounds. They can only account for a few pieces. So if they can't account for it, then it's disposed of. And that's a violation of the state constitution. So, I mean, the health department should be contacting the DLNR and the governor and AG's office and looking into this thing. But what it is nobody's doing anything on this stuff. And I would go further, that health department should be recommended to DLNR cancel the lease of tens of thousands of acres of state land up there at Pohakuloa. Nothing in the lease allowed radioactive contamination. And the parallel issue is, around the same time they did this Davy Crockett stuff up there in the 60s, they got a lease, the Army did, from the state, on Steinbach Highway, to do what they told the state was going to be weather testing. They lied. You know what they were doing instead of weather testing? They were testing sarin nerve gas and other chemical biological weapons. When Patsy Mink disclosed it, Shinichi Kimura was mayor, and he said, cancel the lease. And they canceled the lease there at Steinbach, because it was supposed to be weather testing, not testing chemical biological weapons in Hilo's watershed. So if they canceled the lease for the chemical biological weapons, why not cancel the lease for the radiation weapons? They had no authority to do that. It's a violation of the state constitution. But there are the things that the health department, to me, should be advocating, raising. Maybe people have other concerns.
But the Davy Crockett was in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
And you told them about that a long time ago, right? So I think the problem is right now you have so much of the ammunition all using DU. So if people had gotten on it at that time, then they would have protected the public now. But right now, even the military doctor themselves, right? Rokia is saying all of the things that are in the DU and are being used right now. Yeah. I think the health department gotta get help to protect the people and check on it.
Really, somebody does.
To be bombing a base that you know is contaminated with radiation is nuts. You don't know where it is. You don't know how much is up there, because they don't want to look, because they might find something, right? So, but to bomb it is nuts. And to have the health department sitting by silently for years and years on this.
You should advocate for everybody to get testing, and it should be
Shut
in
them
more
down.
newspapers. You guys should be buying ads in the newspapers saying test,
And
because
stop
we
the
have a
bomb.
DU problem.
Stop the bombing, that's the
Well,
key.
especially the young people, it's going inside, they're breathing it in, right? It's all in the air now.
The thing that we learned about DU is different than just our natural uranium. When uranium is burned, this is Dr. Lauren Pang telling us.
From Maui.
Yeah, you know him as a 20-year Army medical, right?
Yes.
He said when uranium, the DU is burned, it turns into little Christmas balls, he described it. They're oxide particles, they're hollow, and can be easily inhaled. They're submicron particles. And inhaled, and then it can get into the lymph system and stays in the body. Some uranium is excreted in a fairly short time after exposure through the urine. The rest of it stays in the body. It's not soluble. So that's the thing about the uranium oxide, the DU. When it's burned, when it's hit with high explosives and all, we're talking about very small submicron particles, easily carried by the winds all over this island. The more traffic at Saddle Road, the more on the vehicles, just like the Koki frogs. You transport it all around the island. So it's a nightmare. But the resolution passed by the county council in
August
08, that's 4.5 years ago, that said not only live fire, but anything that creates dust. So any kind of maneuver, it's a dry area. Anything that creates dust is going to transport it. So all of that stuff's got to be stopped up there.
Unborn children,
And,
new babies.
So we want to see some action, or else we're going to have to mobilize more and more people. And who knows, maybe it'll be civil disobedience. But we want to see the action.
Is the Girl Scout camp still up there?
I hope they've closed that place
Is
down.
it still being used?
It's still there. I don't know if it's being used though.
Here you have a Girl Scout camp in the midst of a radiation.
Yeah,
belt.
you're talking about young people most susceptible to
Danger.
inhaling that, right?
Because I would like the health department to know that we're advocating for the keiki and that their little bodies are so vulnerable and that they deserve a healthy future and that everyone here could be instrumental in helping assure that and to not just think of your position as a job but really that you're here to help the people and we're counting on you and watching you and we need you. The children need you. Please.
Yeah, what good is the health department doing if they're not, I mean, we've got, in people's urine, you've got depleted uranium, and you're not doing anything about it? You know, you guys may as well close up shop if you're not even gonna protect us from the depleted uranium. And you have responsibility. Don't be afraid of the military. Somebody's gotta protect us.
Well, we're
Where's
behind
the civilian control over the military?
We're giving you an opportunity to do the right thing, you know, and you'll have peace of mind for it.
Well, where's Gary Gill? I'm really disappointed in him.
Yeah, Governor, get after him. He's your subordinate. Huh?
Yeah, how about it, Neil?
Wonderful thing, you're
You
very
did.
eloquent, knowledgeable in what we're saying here. I couldn't add much more to that, but I think there has to be a general education program of the effects of this depleted uranium on the populace, everyone, you know, and visitors included. But this thing goes out of proportion and. Well, you know, where's the tourist industry? If people know you're going to come here and you have a possibility of getting contaminated with uranium, that's not a healthy thing, right? Yeah. So anyway, it's a situation that should definitely fall right into your kuleana.
One would think.
Yeah.
Right from the governor's
Do your
mouth.
job.
But right now is the timing is
We have it on
crucial
paper,
because the
Neil?
military is asking for waiver, right?
One
Yeah.
more.
So you know what this meeting on the
Right
12th
now.
is?
More and more expansion.
With the NRC
Don't be afraid
on the
to
12th.
shut them down.
The meeting-
No,
No,
it should be in Maryland.
Oh, it's in Maryland.
We're discussing about
Yeah.
whether the military should have a license to possess DU.
It wasn't a Tribune Herald?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
okay, I
right.
meeting's
remember.
in Maryland. We
That's
said
in
that.
Maryland. It's not here. Yeah.
The last time they had a meeting, they scheduled it for 3 a.m. Hawaii time. So I had to get up at 2:30 to talk on the. How insulting is that?
Yeah.
But the meeting should be here, but it's not. But the Army's saying, we don't need a license. But if you're going to make us have a license, make sure that it has no requirements and no obligations for us. Now, what kind of a license is that? Huh? But that's why the health department,
Why?
if nobody else is
That's your role.
speaking up for the people about, stopping all live fire. That's the first thing about it. And comprehensive independent testing and monitoring to determine the full extent of the contamination up there. Testing lots of people's urine that work there, that travel the Saddle Road, people who frequented the area. Let's see what the issue is. If it's related to Pohakuloa or if it's some other cause. But the fact that now 3 MDs and a naturopathic patients, one MD with a cluster of patients here in Hilo, we got to find out what the cause of that uranium in the urine is. Huh? So we got to see some
Please, do
action.
your job.
So please, stress the urgency of this. I'm going to be on that phone on the 12th, and I better hear Gary Gill or somebody advocating from the health department on that call, huh? All right. Thank you.
Okay.
How are you, Ed?
Thank you.
Thank you for the information.
Supporting you and advocating for us.
Yeah. Let Aaron know, okay?
Okay, I'll let
Get the
Aaron
ball
know.
going.
Okay, have a good day.
My email's on the bottom of those 2 sheets, huh? That's my email, there's our website, phone number, everything.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
Did you
Jim.
tell them that the Army wants to be exempt from all environmental oversight? They're asking.
Thank you,
them to
Governor.
be exempt.
Well, they don't want any license.
So they don't want to be subject to the rules.
Not only the chairman, but you're also the doorman.
And they need to play Thank you. Aloha.
Look, somebody's got to hold these guys accountable. You know, what good is the health department if they're not there to protect the community?
Well put.
You know, you guys may as well all resign from your jobs if you're not going to be advocates for the community. Somebody has to protect the community. I mean, the military doesn't give a damn.
Happy holidays to you.
Thank you.
Aloha.
You can speak from the wall.